Knights of the Kitchen Sink. Okay. So this deck is not going to be about the Knights of the Kitchen Sink, but it is a knight deck. So that is in my sideboard for a little bit of fun. So let's look through Knights. Again, this is a deck. You can find the deck list below. And this is a Brawl Knight deck. So there's 60 cards. Sometimes it's hard to get a whole 100 together, but this is a fun little Brawl deck. So my commander, excuse me, is Danitha, the Paragon. You'll see that I have some Aura cards, equipment cards, so the casting one less is going to be nice. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into those things. So here's an enchantment, Mantle of the Agents. On Sarah's Wings. Gives me a little bit of flying. Not a lot of flying in the night deck. Timely Ward. Can flash it onto my commander. Give her indestructible. Crusade. Little ramp for my white creatures. Honor the Pure. A little bit more ramp for my white creatures. Paladin, even more ramp for my creatures, also making it a little harder for the opponents. Congregate, if I can get a lot of knights out, it should give me a lot of health. And then we go into equipment. Moon's Silver Spear. Get a couple flying creatures if I attack with it. Shining Armor, it fits well with the knights. Holy Avenger, my knights and paladins. Augmentum Armor, give me a little attack, bonus to my attack and defense. A little expensive, but again, with a commander, go it less. Then I got Paladin Shield, a little bit more defense. And as soon as it enters, I can put it straight onto one. So again, it's flash. There's some nice things. Some of these get out quicker, some get out cheaper. But ways to ramp up my paladins and knights. Little mace, Ring of Thrune. This one gives me, at the beginning of upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature if it's white. So again, keep ramping the creature that it's on. Relatively cheap to get out. Potion of Healing. Draw a card when it enters the battlefield. Sacrifice it and gain 3 health. Akrama's Memorial. Probably seen that again in some of my other decks. This one allows me to get flying and some more protections. And onto the knights. So those are my equipments, auras, other spells. Ardenvale Tactician, one of my knights that has flying. Also gives me a little bit of duality with the instant on it to tap a couple creatures and still play it from exile. Wingsteed Rider, flying, heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this creature, put a +1 counter on it. So again, a lot of my spells and everything I have kind of play off of each other. Another flying with the Cloud Crusader, flying first strike. And then I got a bunch of my protection knights, bunch of different ones. So Marian Crusader, double strike protection from black and green. Fiendslayer Paladin, first strike lifelink. Can't be the target of black or red spells. Paladin Vuk, first strike protection from black and red. Silver Knight, first strike protection from red. Some of these are lower level knights with just 2 whites to get them out. First strike protection from black, a lot of protection from black, but you can see that there's some reds and greens. This one allows me to tap 2 white to pick it. It only lasts a turn, but that's kind of cool. Knight Ramp, Knight Exemplar, first strike, other knight creatures you control get +1/+1 and have indestructible, so that's really nice to get out for my knights. Pure Steel Paladin, that Metalcraft is nice. Equipment you control have equip 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts, so if I get 3 equipment cards out, then the rest of them are equip 0s, that's nice. Northern Paladin, 2 whites, tap, destroy a black permanent. Probably won't see that feature used all that much, but it is a nice little knight to have out. Knight of the White Orchard, first strike, When Knight of the White Orchard enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, you may search a library for plains cards, put it in the battlefield, then shuffle. Pretty much all I have is plains cards, so that's nice. Tempered Veteran, white tap, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature with a +1 counter on it, and then 4 white to get that initial one on. So with the cards that I have, a lot of my creatures are going to have +1 counters, so I can ramp them easily with just 1 and a tap on that one. Hero Bladehold, Battle Cry, whenever creature attacks each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until the end of the turn. So if I send this one in with the rest of them, gets some, but also whenever it attacks, it gets 2 1/1 white soldier creatures attacking as well. So a little bit more ramp. Knight of the Holy Nimbus. Get flanking. Whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, the blocking creature gets -1/+1 until the end of turn. So makes it a little stronger. This is an interesting one. If the Knight of the Holy Nimbus would be destroyed, regenerate it, the opponent can play or tap 2 in order to stop that ability. So as long as they have nothing to stop the regeneration, that thing can come back. Steadfast Paladin, Lifelink, Goliath Paladin, Vigilance, take initiative. Not super useful in this one, but it is another knight. Nadar, Selfless Paladin, Vigilance, whenever enters battlefield or attacks, venture into the dungeon. Once completed a dungeon, other creatures I control get +1/+1. So probably not super likely, but in theory, he could trigger that himself and give some more ramp to my creatures. Oh, glares on this stuff. Dauntless Bodyguard. Enter the battlefield, choose a creature, so I can put this on my anything that's really useful on knights, the ramp knights or the commander, and give them indestructible, so I have to kill the bodyguard first. And then Amiria's Call, sorcery, but a land as well. That's always a good one to have in a white deck. Soul Ring, Radiant Fountain, give me some life, gain, just a regular mana. Fountain of Cho, Icatine Store, both of those allow you to just kind of store up some mana if you don't need it, to use it later. Forbidding Watchtower, adds 1 white mana, but can transform into the Watchtower and be a 1/5 white creature until the end. Ancient Den, another artifact for some of my other spells, and then the rest is just regular planes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 planes to go with all the other land that I have and creatures that I have in order to get everything out. So that is my Knight Brawl deck. You can see lots of knights, lots of things to augment the knights, and everything that I have is inside of the list I have on Moxfield. There are some honorable mentions that maybe one day this will get turned into an actual commander deck, but Argivian Cavalier, Devoted Paladin, Raidane, God of the Worthy, that'll give some flying and another artifact, Knight of the Keep, Knight of Dawn's Light, again, not quite enough to really justify a whole commander's deck, maybe with adding more support cards. But that's it, that's my deck, including the kitchen sink. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
This video is brought to you by Avencia, where modern wonders meet medieval arms and magic. Join unexpected individuals as they navigate a world full of old marvels. Buy the first novel on Amazon or check out our Compendium, which augments your favorite role-playing game with the world of Avencia. Take it one step further. Run your players through the Honey Badgers campaign and to test their might as gunslingers for a small town out west. Links below.